Hello everyone and welcome to Theme Park Worldwide, where it's Sunday the 10th of March 2024. Happy Mother's Day to any mothers watching today as well. And we're back here at Drayton Manor to check out the latest construction on their new roller coaster.
So it's been around 5 weeks since it was last here and we did an on-site update, so be sure to check that out if you haven't already seen it.
Now the reason we're starting off in the car is a bit miserable this afternoon. It's raining, but we thought, you know what, the park's open, let's come and have a look at the construction taking place. We know now that one of the trains is on site and is actually having its pull through of the layout, so that's really exciting. And along with that, construction work has started on the station and I'm really excited to see that up close. Along with that too, lots more work taking place to re-theme the area around where the new coaster is going to be. So we're going to start off here outside the park before making our way in and having a closer look. Oh, straight away, that's what I'm talking about. There's a look at the station, which is coming together nicely. And here in the foreground, you can just make out one of the trains there as well, which has started its clearance envelope testing. Now, this new coaster is manufactured by Intamin, features the lift hill and also the launch. And look at the train design just here, with it being on that angle as well. You get a nice look at the seats there for this ride as well. And here you can see they've actually got this clearance envelope, which is around the side of the train at the moment, and basically it's having its pull through just to make sure that it's going to be clear of any supports or any theming that they might be putting in. And yeah, they can kind of mark that out to make sure that that's all going to be fine. But I tell you what, train's looking great, and the station looks massive over there as well, and we'll get some better views of that when we head inside the park. And you can also see, since we were last down here at Drayton Manor, the track has been completed. They've also added the catwalk onto the lift hill just over there as well. You can see that down at the side. And you can see the launch section just over there now as well, which is complete. And the maintenance shed that's here in the foreground. But yeah, looking really good. Let's go and get some more angles and of course see it from down in the park. And it looks like they're actually about to continue with the pull round of the train there. So we'll stick around here a couple of minutes just to see if we can see that in action. Something that you don't often get to see with new roller coasters, you know, in person or with updates, because obviously a lot of the parts are closed when this is happening. So yeah, it's quite nice to actually see a pull round. And this is just a standard procedure that happens on new roller coasters, yeah, just to make sure that everything's clear around the track. And yeah, you can see the wire down here on the front to help pull it round. Awesome just seeing the train though there on the side. I'm really excited for this, especially with having all the different elements. There we go. That's it, you can see them just moving it around. That's it, very slowly. Oh, I love seeing stuff like this. How cool. See how literally just moving it along. And you can see the clearance envelope tester there around the train coming in very handy, especially with that tree just there. Accelerator there behind. We've got a bit of an update on Accelerator that we'll share with you. There we go. It's awesome to see this. Wow. You just don't get to see it very often. I mean, you know, when it comes to testing of coasters, you see that a lot. But yeah, in terms of having this pull round, quite unique to see it and capture it here for you all on this new coaster at Drayton Manor. And as we're making our way down towards the park entrance, here's another angle. Looking at the coaster from here as well. Some great drops and airtime moments, some transitions on here. It's going to be a really good fun ride. And yeah, we did film our last on-site update about 5 weeks ago. So yeah, make sure you check that out here on the channel if you haven't already seen it. Obviously the track's complete since we filmed that update. Can't wait to get up close to that station and have a look. Fantastic. All the theming that's going to be going on to there as well. And hopefully a lot of theming around the rest of the ride. Wow. Oh, here's another great angle for you. Looking at this kind of overbank turn and zooming in down there to some of the other parts of the ride. And the beauty of this new coaster here at Drayton Manor is the fact that the site's already got a lot of trees and landscaping around. Obviously a lot of new coasters that get built don't really have that, you know, so it's nice how this kind of intertwines already around the existing trees and landscaping of this part of the park. So yeah, very pleased to see that. I do love the location of Drayton Manor all around the lake just here, which is really nice. And just off to the left, the Wave. I did film an update about this just a few days ago, so check that out if you haven't already seen it. But yeah, I believe the train is now on site for the Wave. I was hoping we might see it maybe getting pulled round or some testing today, but yeah, not at the moment. Hopefully we'll see that soon though. But we will be back for the start of the main season at Drayton Manor in a couple of weeks' time. No mention yet on if the Wave is going to be ready for the opening. It's not sounding like it will be. However, this is definitely going to be ready before the new coaster by the sounds of it. So yeah, I'm very excited to experience the Wave. Of course, Shockwave used to be a stand-up coaster. It opened 30 years ago, and they've now purchased a sit-down train from Art Engineering, a German company, and they're fitting that on there at the moment. I'm looking forward to experiencing it. Yeah, it's got lap bars as well, and it's going to be really interesting going through the different elements there over on the Wave. You're looking forward to seeing what it's like, Charlotte?
I'm very interested to see how it's going to ride with a different style train, because I always found Shockwave really uncomfortable. So for me, a sit-down train is going to be a lot more re-rideable.
And bringing the height restriction down as well is great.
That's brilliant, because people who are younger are going to be able to ride it with the family now, which is great.
Potentially like a 5 or 6 year old could ride it, you know, as long as the 1.2 in height, it was a 1.4 previously. That's really positive to see. Right, let's go and make our way into the park. It's just open today for Mother's Day limited opening with Thomas Land and a couple of other rides. But yeah, we'll go and see what we can see of the new area and of course the new coaster as well. So much going on at Drayton Manor this year. It's very exciting. And here's a look at the new coaster then from here in the Vikings themed area. You can see the launch track just up there at the top. Some of these other twisty transitions. The lift hill's just peeking out there from behind the station for Jormungandr. We'll get some much better angles though when we head around the corner. Very promising to see though that they're working on a Sunday. And there's a bit of a zoom in again to the train undergoing that clearance testing. It is wrapped around the side at the moment, so you can't see the full design, but you can see the brown seats just there on the top. So yeah, looking forward to them getting unwrapped and seeing them in detail. And just off to the left hand side here, you realise just how big the station is from here in the Vikings area. It looks like some sort of turret going on the top there as well, kind of sticking out from the rest of the station. Oh, loads has happened since we were last here taking a look at this coaster. Down at the bottom of the lift hill, this building has appeared. And look at the theming on there as well, kind of a rustic western theme to fit with the rest of the area. That looks great. If we zoom back out, you can see the lift hill and these closed sections of track to Jormungandr as well, and how it actually goes over here too. There we go, look at that. It's going to be a really nice near miss moment just there with the supports. Here's a fantastic shot looking over at the lift hill then, and you can also see the train parts up down there at the bottom. And yeah, as you can see from the lift hill, it's not using a chain, it's using the wheels that you can see just there. Kicker wheel lift hill, very similar to the likes of 13 at Alton Towers that also has a kicker wheel lift hill. Yeah, look at that, fantastic. Can't wait for that airtime hill as well. Hopefully it takes that with some speed. And a nice zoom in there looking over at the switch track element of this new coaster. This gives you a good idea on the scale of the station building. You got the Flying Dutchman here, the flat ride, and the station there just behind it. And yeah, the station's been built in the same sort of position where Pandemonium used to be. Feels like a long time ago now, even though really it's only been a few years since that was removed. Yeah, Pandemonium was on that spot. And then Apocalypse down there at the back. As much as it's sad to see Apocalypse go, you know what? This looks like it's going to be a worthy replacement and really does fit with the way this park's moving forward. I think that's the thing for me. When a ride comes out, especially one that I love like Apocalypse, it'd be really sad if it was just an empty space or nothing to see there, or even if it was SPNO and still standing. At least with this, yes, Apocalypse come out, but we've got this brand new attraction in place opening this year. And you know what? For Drayton Manor, this is looking really good. With the fact the park's moving more in that direction of offering family thrills, I think this is going to be a really exciting attraction for the park, and it looks great. I can't wait to see the theming, especially based on what we can already see with the Wild West Street. Oh wow, look at this. Definitely the best view we're going to get here of the station. That looks fantastic. It's quite big as well, isn't it? And yeah, you also get an idea of how this top section is going to look from this angle as well. I am really impressed with how this station's coming along. And you can also see the air gates are already in place there as well. So you know, loading on that side. There's your air gates. Can't wait to be standing behind those, waiting for our first ride on it. Off to the right here as well, you can see another structure being attached to the station. I reckon that's going to have the steps inside to take you up, because actually it's quite high up the loading area for the station. That's probably about, what, 15, 20 feet off the ground? Yeah, this looks great, and I just think the theming is going to look fantastic on this, so I'm very excited to see it. You can also see the catwalks are in place here on the brake run, at the end of the ride. Looks like a lot of the electrics are in. You've got the motors on there for the wheels. You know what? Things are looking pretty good for this. I reckon we could be seeing, again, like a May, June opening for this ride. But yeah, things are progressing really well. And from around the other side of Accelerator, we get a great view looking at the lift hill there as well. Now complete with the catwalk going up the side. And yeah, it looks like a lot of the electrics are going in and things are progressing really well on this new roller coaster. Now, of course, it's not just the coaster itself, but also the themed area that's going to be around this ride. So let's have a close-up look at that now. Now, this is looking really good. So this is actually the 4D cinema. As you can see, it's all been painted up to this Wild West style. And it seems like we're not too far away now from the park revealing the name for this new Wild West area, because it's looking really good, like all the signage, the details around the windows even. And we've seen this already, but a bit of a recap on it. It looks fantastic, like all the balcony along there, kind of like a saloon. You got a bank down there, what looks like a photo opportunity as well in the jail. It looks fantastic, this does. It's actually extended around the corner as well. And then of course you've got Accelerator just over here as well. Hey.
I think they've done such a good job. It's so nice to see that they haven't just focused on the coaster, they've focused on the overall theming of the area to bring it all together nicely.
And that's the thing, you've got a few more attractions down in that way that will form part of this area. Drunken Barrels, that's been rethemed, the spinning barrel ride. Along with that, you've also got the Haunting, which is part of this area. I don't know how they're going to tie that together with the story. Maybe that'll happen at some point in the future, but that's interesting. And then not forgetting as well, you've got Sheriff Showdown, which is already Wild West themed, and that's the dark ride down here. So really, this area is going to have the coaster, a couple of dark rides, a flat ride. It's going to be really nice. I'm looking forward to seeing how they tie it all together. The good thing is over here on the right-hand side, Accelerator has started to actually have a retheme as well. They've put all the wood up there on the top. They've painted over that horrible graffiti. I was never a big fan of it. I mean, I know it kind of fit with the Cars theme of Accelerator. I didn't like the graffiti on the outside here, so they just painted it brown. It seems like this is a work in progress, as you can see up there at the top, but it's looking a lot better than it did before. I think ultimately they need to paint the track and supports at some point. I don't think that's going to be done for this year, but they need to look at that in the long term. Also kind of getting rid of this kind of metal effect over here, because that isn't really that Wild West, is it? But you can see how they've started to paint the sides, maybe remove the kind of antennas off the top. You know, it would look better with them gone. But yeah, at least there are making some progress here on the retheming of Accelerator to kind of fit it all together with this new Wild West area. And like I say, I don't think it's going to be long before we have a name for this area as well. Yeah, really exciting, isn't it, Charlotte?
Oh, I cannot wait for this. I think when it's open, it's just going to be really exciting, and it's exactly what the park needs.
They're moving in the right direction, definitely, with this one. And yeah, this area will be really nice. Then you think you've got Thomasland, you've got Adventure Cove, you've got Vikings, and then the currently unnamed Wild West area. That's 4 themed areas in a park that a few years ago only had one official themed area with Thomasland. It was just a lot of rides everywhere. At least it's going to be all themed in now, which I'm really pleased about. And one final update here then on the new themed area. It seems like they've actually painted all the buildings around here on the left hand side, including the shop as well. So that's interesting. I kind of like how it transitions from this Wild West area and they start bringing in some purples and blues down here and then into yellow. So it's kind of a nice transition really between, you know, this themed area and then down into some more generic colours here. So I think they've done a really good job there, because it's clear the Wild West street's going to kind of end at this area. But no, it's nice how they've painted them buildings up as well, and it's kind of a gradual transition, you know, which is really nice to see. Oh, good timing there with the weather. It wasn't too bad whilst we were filming, but yeah, we're back in the car now and it's throwing it down. But you know what? We've got loads of updates today from the new roller coaster. Amazing just to see the pull round happening, wasn't it?
I've never seen that before. I didn't even know that that was something that they do, so to see it in person was great.
I think that's the thing. Normally that would all be done behind closed doors at theme parks that are closed, and because Drayton Manor was open today for that limited opening of Thomasland and a couple of other rides, we got to see that, which was fantastic, and it was good timing as well, because yeah, we just had a little stroll around the rest of the park, and by the time we came back it was still parked in the same place at the bottom of the lift. So it's just one of them things that, you know, you don't know you're going to get. We didn't think we'd come here today and see that, and we'd heard the train had arrived. But no, that was really good to see it. And of course the coaster itself is looking fantastic. I mean, we said this in the on-site updates, but the elements on there look like they're going to be really good fun, don't they?
I think it's looking great. It's exactly what the park needs, so I cannot wait to get on that later in the year.
And the fact it's also got the lift hill and the launch is really good. It looks like there's going to be a lot of theming going in around around the ride. That new little building that's gone in at the bottom of the lift hill, I'd imagine that's all to do with the electrics and the workings of the ride. But the fact that's already been themed already is great, and also seeing all the buildings that make up the rest of the Wild West area is really good. And then we've got the station, which looks massive, that bit on the top as well, which looks good, and hopefully the theming of that will be done to match the rest of it. I mean, I don't see why not. I mean, hopefully that'll match with that whole street that they've done, the little building at the bottom of the lift hill. It's really exciting times at Drayton Manor at the moment. I'm looking forward to seeing all the updates, aren't we?
Oh, we just cannot wait. What I do like about Drayton is they've made the effort with the theming and not just open just the coaster on its own. They've thought about the whole area, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it's tied it in. That could have easily been a 2-year project, but they've thought, no, we'll take on that this year as well, along with, of course, the wave. As there's a lot going on. The branding, it's the biggest year ever here at Drayton Manor. I definitely agree with that, with everything that's happening. And we'll be back here in a few weeks' time for the main opening of the season as well. And then shortly after that, I'm looking forward to riding the wave, and later in the year, the new coaster as well. But as always, thanks for joining us here on Theme Park Worldwide. And that leaves us with one final thing to say.
Get out there and keep on riding.
Bye-bye.